Edgar from Kennesaw, Georgia. Yeah. Oh, Edgar. Yeah. If you could travel back in time to 1/1/2000 and relive your life with all the knowledge you have now, what would you do differently?
This is always such a tough one because I like where I'm at.
Yeah.
You know, so I'm
It's
always
like the butterfly effect. Like you
Right.
don't want to change one small thing and have that ruin what you have.
I feel lucky to be where I am at.
Yeah.
I always feel like if I went back,
You might screw that up.
I feel like,
yeah,
okay,
yeah.
so to that end, I feel like I would do a lot more things knowing that it turned out okay. Like happily.
but it might not turn out okay.
Like I do the same thing.
Yeah.
Maybe put like more
More-
effort or more
more- yeah,
work
I
into it
know
or
what
something
you
like
mean,
that.
yeah.
But I wouldn't like make these drastic like life decisions of do this instead of that. I'd probably do the same things.
Yeah.
Some of the things that I like struggled with completing or doing,
yeah,
I would
yeah.
do knowing that the outcome
Happily,
of it was good.
yeah.
Especially since it's like in our, well, at least my, like I'm still an adult at this
Yeah.
point,
Mm-hmm.
even just barely. But if it was like 100 years ago, then there's things I'd be like, oh yeah, I'd invest in this or do this. But as far as like changing something so relatively recent, that I don't think I would.
Yeah, I think Edgar was just trying to go back 20 years. I mean, can you believe that's been 20 years? Jesus Christ.
Oh man, it's a year after I graduated
You know, there
high
was
school.
there was so many times in which my more naive younger self completely missed all the signs of a girl coming on to me. And you know, I look back at it now and I'm like, what you didn't see that? You know, I might want to go back and rectify all of those.
There's a, I don't want to go down that hole either, but
Yeah, I know.
I'm very blind to that stuff too. And there was a girl in high school. I remember we were at a party and I had seen her before. And one of my friends was like, oh, she was wondering after the game or whatever. And I kept asking my friend, I was like, when are we going to see this girl again? And they were like, well, we don't really talk anymore. And I was like, bummed out. A couple weeks later, and then we're at a party and I see her there and I'm sitting like kind of we are right now. And,
Yeah.
and, she puts her legs on mine. I got my legs on the coffee table, and this preview for She's All That comes on. I think it was She's All That. God, I'm really dating myself. And she was like,
Is that Freddie Prinze Jr.?
she's like, yeah, that looks good. Yeah, I'd like to go see that sometime.
oh,
And I was like, in my mind, you know, you're like, oh shoot, like, you know, my buddy's just watching over here. He's like, you moron, you know?
pick up the ball.
And I'm just like,
The lowest,
you know,
lowest underhand throw
Oh,
that could have happened.
It gets worse. It gets worse. So then, you know, I'm like obviously over processing this in my brain. I'm like, well, now it's too late. You know, so I'm like, oh, okay. And then another preview comes. I hope I'm getting these movies right. And I think it was Cruel Intentions came on, and she's like, oh, that looks good. I'd kind of want to go see that sometime. And I'm like, and now I'm like, is it super obvious now because she has a second, you know? And I'm overanalyze all in my head. You know, I'm like, and my buddy's just dying, you know, where I'm just like, oh my God, like what is wrong with you? And long story short, it comes to the end of the party or end of the night, I guess for us, because we're in high school at the time. And she's like, oh, I got to get going. I was like, I'll see you later. And she goes, can I just get your number so we can go see a movie sometime?
Jesus
And I was like,
Christ.
Okay.
At least it worked out in the end.
yeah,
though. But Jesus, man, yeah, you missed the ball on that. Yeah,
we
you
dated
missed
for a while too.
Yeah.
It was, I don't know. I just, yeah. So I hear you there.
You know, you just can't help but sometimes, you know, you're in your own headspace so hard,
Oh, God.
and that you just don't recognize these. I don't even want to call them subtle, but social cues, you know, and you're just like, oh well.
Well, no one wants to be the guy too, or at least personally.
You don't want to overextend,
And
right?
I used to hate it. And I still do whenever she wants me. She said hi to you.
Yeah.
She may have touched you on the shoulder because you're in her way.
Yeah.
You know, she doesn't want you. And that I think just overthinking that. And I had a lot of friends that were girls, and you hear about those stories.
Yeah.
You're like, I
yeah,
never
you-
want to be that
yeah.
guy.